I just want to talk for a minute a little bit about handling change or handling times that are difficult. So there are many times when our children are faced with things that are just going to be extremely difficult for them. Maybe it's a significant change in their routine. Maybe somebody who's important to them is leaving. For example, maybe a teacher is having a baby and isn't going to be able to be in their classroom for the rest of the school year. Or maybe it's something even bigger where their regular routine is just not even available to them at all. These things can really create a lot of challenges for individuals with autism. And there are ways that we can help them through some of these challenges. One of the things that you can do is really think about why this event is going to be a particular challenge to the child. A lot of times it falls back to the routine. And if there's a change in a routine, a lot of times the children with autism struggle with this. And we see that manifest in a bunch of different ways. Often it's with an increase in challenging behavior, but sometimes for some of our children, they might just either start to regress. Maybe they're having more toileting issues than they have in the past, or maybe they're starting to refuse to eat some of the things that they used to eat. Maybe they've become really quiet and they resist interacting with other people. Recognize that all of these things are signs that your child's going through some sort of distress. And there are things that we can do to help your child regulate and make that change a little bit easier. So things that we can do to make that easier are like creating structure whenever you can. So even though it might not be able to be the child's regular routine, how can we create some sort of structure and routine, even if it's around a new routine? Using visuals is a great way to help children with autism through difficult times. They are often visual learners, and we sometimes forget that in a world where we are so vocally inclined to communicate. We talk to each other all of the time, and it can be really tough for our kids who just have a hard time hearing and processing all of our language. So we might talk to them about the challenges that they're experiencing, the changes in their routine, but they might not be able to hear us, especially if they're very stressed. So we can help them by using visuals. The visuals might be something along the lines of a visual schedule, or maybe social stories that visually represent the information we want the child to learn. Maybe we're showing them videos of what they're experiencing. There's lots of different ways that you can include visuals in your explanation to the child or in preparing the child for this change in his routine. That doesn't mean that all of the challenges are going to be over. When there's a serious disruption to a routine, we need to just be empathetic and understand that this is going to be hard for this individual, and we need to be a support. That doesn't mean we have to overlook the challenging behavior that might come up. We just need to be understanding, and we need to look for opportunities to communicate with that child in a way that the child can understand us. And that's not always through vocal communication. We really need to be able to get to their level and understand that they're not going to hear us the same way as other people might, and that's okay. So how can we communicate about this change, and how can we build more structure for these children who really thrive with structure and routine? we need to sometimes create that for them in a time when there's a lot of change or lots of different things going on. So think about ways that you can use these strategies during times of significant stress or change for children with autism.